Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. That means it is Wisdom Well Wednesday. Welcome, welcome. In today's episode, we are doing Healing Naturally, your Aromatherapy First Aid Guide. So I have done a couple of aromatherapy ones before. On September the 10th, 2025, I did Aromatherapy 101, your guide to essential oils. And on November the 26th, 2025, I did Essential Oils Starter Kit, everything you need to know to get started with aromatherapy. So from there, I thought that we would then dive into having them in your home for first aid, for those minor cuts and scrapes and headaches and those little things when maybe you don't want to go to your pharmaceuticals, you want to do something a bit more healthy. Perhaps you could have some essential oils in your toolkit to get out and help with some minor things. Imagine a world where you can heal minor ailments and boost your well-being using the power of nature. In this video, we'll unlock the secrets of essential oils, from soothing chamomile to invigorating eucalyptus, to create your own aromatherapy first aid. Get ready to transform your approach to health naturally. Okay, so today we are going to look at some oils handpicked by me. We're going to do 12 of them that I recommend. You don't need to get all of these, as you'll see a lot of them do a lot of the same things. So just get the ones that you can afford or that you like the smell of or that have the properties that you need the most. We are going to be looking at this just so that you have this more natural way of healing and disinfecting wounds and stuff like that. Just sort of like a basic first aid to go in with your band-aids and your bandages and all of those kind of things. You can just have it on hand, and that can be something that helps you through those minor aches and pains and problems. Okay, so let's get started. So first off, what are essential oils? Well, I go into more details in the episodes that I mentioned before, so go ahead and go and look at those if you haven't watched those or you don't know anything about essential oils. Essential oils are pretty much where you get the essence of the flower or the plant, sort of like a lavender or something, and they use this thing called distilling, and they will get those properties and put them into an oil. So they make it into a very pure oil. So you're going to be having this little bottle, and this is the oils that you're going to be using to help with any of the first aid things that you need. Aromatherapy oils all have different properties. They all have different physical, mental, emotional, even spiritual properties. And so today we're going to cover what I recommend for your first aid kit. Again, you don't need all 12, not at all. And there is my favorite one nearer the end that would be my one that I would have if I was only to choose one. So let's take a little look at these. Okay, so let's start off with chamomile, one of the more expensive ones. You can get either Roman or German chamomile. This is very, very gentle one. You probably know it from like chamomile tea and stuff like that. So, this is really good for relaxing, right? For helping with insomnia and things like that, or just any kind of anxiety or stress. So it's very, very calming, very, very soothing oil. It's also anti-inflammatory, so it's really, really good for any kind of like minor burns or even sunburn, stuff like that. Any cuts and rashes and any kind of skin problems, really. It's really, really good for any kind of grazes and things, rashes and stuff. that you might find on your skin. And it's very, very gentle one, so it's even good for young children and babies as well. With any of these, either contact me or another aromatherapist just to make sure that you're using the right amount and you're using them correctly, especially for children or adults or sensitive skin, stuff like that. Also pets as well. So make sure that you are using them properly. Another one that you probably do know is eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is what we would have if we had any kind of respiratory problems. So colds and flu, this is phenomenal for. So because it's very, very good at clearing out the lungs, right? So you can have this on in a diffuser or on like a handkerchief or a tissue or something and just inhale it. You can also do that thing with the bowl where you have the steaming water and you put the towel over your head and breathe in. Really, really good one for that. People don't necessarily know this, but it also is really, really good for aching muscles and sort of like pain in your muscles and things like that. Good for insect bites and stings as well. One of my favorites is frankincense. Frankincense is really, really good for relaxing. It's really good for putting you into that more meditative state. So it's really, really good for stress and anxiety because of that. It's really, really good at skin rejuvenation as well. So it's very, very good for scarring. So any kind of scarring from operations or from accidents, acne scars. It's also really good for those things just when they've already got them and they're quite new. Make sure they're healed up though before you put the oil on top. There's another good one for like aches and pains, and especially like joint and muscle. So not just the muscle, but the joint as well. Really, really good one for rubbing on those aches and pains. Next one is geranium. Geranium is beautiful smelling one, and it's very, very good for, again, balancing the skin. So it's good for any kind of skin issues, like eczema, psoriasis, just some kind of rash or impurity or imperfection or something. Very good for cuts too. And because of the nice smell that it has, it's really, really good for the stress and anxiety as well. So a lot of these, as you've probably seen, are very, very similar already, and we're only on number 4. So you just get the ones that you like the smell of or the ones with the properties that you feel that you need, and then you can just see about what you can afford and stuff like that and how many you want. Lavender, nice famous one, is our next one. Of course, lavender is extremely calming. So this is great for your sleep problems or stress and anxiety. It's also a really good one for the skin as well. So you can put it not just on insect bites and cuts and scrapes and stuff, but you can also put it on the scarring as well, on the healing process, right? Really good for burns as well. If you burn yourself in the kitchen or you have sunburn, you can just put the lavender straight on, unless you've got extremely sensitive skin. You don't even need a carrier oil. You can just put it directly on, and it's in quite a lot of it on just to get that all nice and healed up for you. I didn't mention, but frankincense is like known as like the king of aromatherapy oils. So if he's the king, then lavender is the queen, and then together they're quite good at a number of different things together. And yes, they're good ones to have either or just get like both of them. But yeah, they're both pretty similar, but they're really, really good ones. They've got lots of versatile things. Our next one is lemon. Very, very good at uplifting and purifying. It's a really good disinfectant as well. So it's really good when you have a cut or something to put on to disinfect that, like an antiseptic kind of thing. It's also really good at like mood enhancing and like perking you up, like a sort of zing to wake you up. Patchouli is a nice one as well. It's another calming one, so stress and anxiety. It's also another skin rejuvenation one, so it's really good for any kind of skin issues. It's also really good for bug bites, and also it's an insect repellent. So that's the extra little bit there, is the insect repellent for the patchouli. Rosemary, great for the mind, of course, but also it's really, really good for muscles. So especially if you've had a really big workout or you've pulled a muscle or something, you can rub in the, like, if you no massage or whatever, or just rub it in and get that rosemary in there, and that will really, really help with the muscles. It's good for the joints too. So even if your muscles are fine, but the joints are aching, you can rub it onto the joints too. It's also really, really good for bruising as well, actually. So bruises are a good one to put rosemary on. Another very, very famous one, tea tree. And this one I do recommend that you have in, if you have like nothing else, unless you get my favorite one at the end. Tea tree is a great one to have in your first aid kit because of its anti-everything. It's like antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-everything. So this one obviously is great for any kind of cuts and grazes, any insect bites, any kind of skin infections or anything like that too. Really, really good for fungal things. So if you've got athlete's foot or something like that, where you need something a bit more potent, tea tree is a great one for that. Of course, as well, like any kind of like blemishes or pimples, acne, anything like that, you can put it directly on. Like you put a drop on your finger and just dot it on whatever yeah, impurities and blemishes that you have. So that's a really, really, really good one to have. So I recommend that if you only have one and you don't want my favorite one, then you get the tea tree. Our next one is going to be peppermint. Peppermint is great for headaches. This one actually you can use by itself or you can use it with lavender. So if you have both of them, you can put the lavender and the peppermint together and rub it like on your temples or your forehead or wherever it is, or just inhale it for any kind of headaches and migraines. Really, really great combination, or just the peppermint by itself. Peppermint is also, as you might know, if you use tea a lot for any kind of problems and things, it's really, really good for the digestive system. So if you have an upset stomach or something, you can just rub on your belly or again inhale it, and it can bring this comfort, but it also helps with like diarrhea and stuff like that as well. So that's a really, really good one to have. I mean, obviously they're all really good to have in your first aid kit, but that's another one that I would recommend because of that digestive stuff as well. Clary sage. So clary sage is a is an hormonal balancer. So this is really good for women, especially because it's an estrogen regulating type thing. So any kind of menopausal stuff or any kind of menstrual period pain kind of things, those are all really, really helped with clary sage. So that's a great one to have for women. It's just a very good overall emotional well-being one as well. So it's really good for stress and anxiety and just like a lot of the other ones in this list. But it also it's kind of does it a bit bigger than that. It creates like a euphoria kind of thing. So it's a nice one there, especially if you're a woman. This is a nice one to include in your kit. And then finally, number 12 is my favorite. Now, I am going to tell you this is my favorite, and this is the only one that I would use if I could just have one in my first aid kit. However, unfortunately, there's been a problem with getting it and stuff like that over the last few years. So you may not be able to get this depending when you're watching this. But at the moment, it's really hard, if not impossible to get, unfortunately, and it's my favorite one. It's such a shame. But this one literally does pretty much everything. This one is like a tea tree where it has all those anti-everything, so antifungal and bacterial and antiviral and all of this stuff. So it can do things like athlete's foot and all of those kind of things, but it can also do cold and flu and respiratory things. So it's like the eucalyptus where it can clear out the nasal passages or help with the cold and flu symptoms and things like that. It's also like just a great immune boost anyway. And it just smells great. I love it. It's like a woodsy, but it's medicinal woodsy kind of smell. It's hard to describe, but it smells lovely. And it, I know that doesn't sound so nice, but it's one of my favorites. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that. If you can ever get that, get it. And if you know that you're going to use it a lot, get that for just everything that you would need in your first aid kit. That is my favorite. That's Raven Sarah. Fantastic, fantastic oil. So I already covered in the other videos the application, but just to go through for this video, so you don't have to just search for this one little part. You can use it topically. So that means that you put it with an oil. So it can be some special oil from like a massage distribution kind of place, or it can literally be like an oil from your kitchen, so like a coconut oil or something like that, or it could be like an almond oil or apricot kernel oil, especially if you're using a face, maybe you need something a bit more gentle for the face, or avocado oil, whatever it is. Just be aware that a lot of these do stain. So just make sure that you've got like a clear one if you're going to be putting it over clothes or you're going to be wearing it to bed or something. You don't want to get all the stain everywhere. But what you would do is you would put a few drops into a bowl of the oil, and then you can like massage it in or just rub it in. If you don't want to use oil and you have like a hand cream or a lotion or something, you can always put it in that. Um, I would always say if you're not sure if it's your first time using oils, maybe do a patch test, which is actually just put a tiny bit on a bit of your skin, leave it for a little bit, and see if it reacts. If you react to it, then you either shouldn't use it at all, or you should use a lot less than you're being told to when you mix it with the carrier oil or your lotion or something. You can do diffusion, which is where you can either buy a special like plug-in one or a candle burning one where you put hot water in the top, you put a few drops of the oil in, and then it steams around your house, right? If you don't want to get one of those or you can't afford those, you can always just get a pan, put it on your stove top, put the water in, boil it up, and just have the oil going from your kitchen stove. Um, Inhalation is obviously part of that as well, but inhalation is another one where you would be putting on like a handkerchief, a tissue. There are bracelets that have porous stones on them called lava stones. They're like a grey or black usually. Sometimes they come in different colors, and you can put a drop or two of the oil on that bracelet, sometimes necklace as well, and you can just be breathing it in all day. You can put it in a bath as well, breathing it in like while you're in the bath, stuff like that. So those are like three really good ways of putting it on. Obviously, with the first aid thing, if you're doing it because you have a cut or something, then you put it on the cut, right? Like you don't just like inhale or have it in the house, diffusing in your house, and there you go, that's going to help my cut. No, you put like the tea tree, for example, directly on the cut to get rid of all the rubbish that's in the cut, clean it all out for you and help with the healing. Again, if you have any questions, I'm very happy to just answer your questions. So either comment below or send me a personal message, and I will actually answer each and every one of you that asks any kind of questions. Or research it, make sure that you're using them right, because as you'll see in the other videos as well, some of them they react with people's skin or their, gives them headaches or something like that. Or and also, sorry, just from that bit, the lemon that I mentioned, if you're going to put it directly on the skin, if you go outside in the bright sunshine, it is going to burn you, right? So make sure that if you are putting lemon on you, it's something that's covered up, or you're not going to be outside in the sunshine. So best for winter. But yeah, so you want to make sure that you're doing it all correctly, and make sure that you're researching it properly or asking an aromatherapist, especially the amounts of the drops too that you're putting in, and it will change whether you're doing it for your baby or your 5-year-old or your 12-year-old or yourself as an adult or grandma who's 102. All right, like it's going to change for each person. So just make sure that you're doing it safely and right. It also can interact with some medicines. So for example, the peppermint that was mentioned in this video, it can not do anything bad, but it can null and void any homeopathic medicine. If you're taking homeopathic medicine and then you have the peppermint, it's just going to cancel it out, right? Like, so then it's, what's the point of taking the homeopathic medicine? I really, really hope that has given you some ideas. Like I said, you do not need all 12. Please do not go out and buy all 12. Make sure that you're getting good quality. Make sure you're not getting ones that say fragrance. That is not that. You want a pure essential oil. And there are many, depending where you are in the world, there's many different distributors that can give you some really, really good quality ones. So just make sure that you do your research. Some oils are more expensive than others as well, so just make sure that you're getting within your means. You don't need to get the most expensive oil ever. There's probably going to be another oil that's a lot cheaper that has the same properties that you're looking for. So please do your research with that. And then just make sure that if they're in your first aid box, or they're in its very own box somewhere, that it's just out of the sunlight, right? They usually come in darker bottles anyway, so it's not too bad, but yeah, just make sure it's out of the sunlight. And usually these things are going to be in the cupboard anyway, right? So, all right, Next week, we are doing protecting your energy, understanding your aura, and setting energetic boundaries. So this is actually one that was asked for. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. As always, please do like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and share with anybody that you think would benefit from this. And I will see you next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye for now.
From the wisdom well, keep shining, continue learning, and stay curious. Until next Wednesday.